Hey everyone, wanted to take this time to kind of go over a couple of ICOs I've been looking at. All three kind of deal with the same topic, so wanted to go over them first, each project individually, then kind of compare and contrast them to find out more, dive a little deeper into the video advertising industry. So let's take a look at our first coin, which will be Video Coin. I have the website up here. So here's the website. Let's go down, kind of talk about powering next generation video applications. This is just kind of a forward-looking, doesn't really have anything to do with the project, just more on video-based platforms. Here's their team. You'll notice no links to LinkedIn or any other social platforms, any way to verify that these members are all working on it. So kind of useless to me. And that's it. Kind of useless website, pretty much just a landing page, doesn't even verify their teams. They do have a roadmap, and we can kind of take a look at that and see they are planning to wait until after the token sale to do the alpha and beta of their network. So that is definitely troubling. I do not invest in kind of white paper ICOs, as they're called. I usually, like to see at least the first working version. So let's go over and take a look at how these token metrics came out. Here are the token metrics for that project. You can kind of see the dates haven't been announced. These are just rough ones off of their roadmap. Investors don't receive the coins until a couple months after. That's kind of definitely troubling. A little high token price too. You can see the number of tokens, only 12%. That's definitely troubling. Also a really high cap. The team is, if it's confirmed, the team is really good, but they still don't have anything to show for it until after the ICO. They aren't doing an MVP or anything like that. So that's definitely still troubling. And they don't have the largest community ever. Not a huge following. This is still really early on for all three of these projects, but wanted to kind of show them off now so you kind of get a feel for them. It is an app. They do have a need for blockchain. There is a demand for this market. So basically what they do is they incentivize the hosting and distribution of videos. And so far there are a couple distributed video platforms, things like SIA, that are kind of working on video-based playback and distribution. So this is obviously, if they get it down, this is kind of a big deal. We'll kind of touch more on that a little bit later. Let's take a look at the second project. Go to their website. I'm going to take a look at TV2 now. Okay, this is their website. You can kind of see decentralized TV ecosystem, or crypto watching TV. Sounds pretty good. Let's go down and take a look. Policies. So they're having a public crowd sale pretty soon, 8 days. Okay, so what is it? So it's a platform for smart TVs to be used as a gateway for broadcast combined with personalized video stream. Okay, sounds exciting. They are using blockchain to basically reward customers and content creators. We'll take a look at the economics a little bit below. And they are using Ethereum for their token. So how does it work? So now this is just basically kind of installing it on your smart TV and using it there. So you can use it to watch broadcast TV, and get rewarded for watching ads, or you can watch it for content creators, something like YouTube, and get a specialized channel and also kind of get rewarded for watching advertisements. So this is kind of how they plan to use Ethereum and work with scaling. You're kind of going to do they're going to use state channels to offload the transactions, and that should make it a little bit easier to scale. Take a look at their one page, and you can kind of see the crowd sale metrics. So 50,000 Ethereum, that's not terrible right now. It's like 25-ish million. And you can see the exchange rate, token supply. You can see here they have the token distribution and the allocation of funds. Get to see, kind of the breakdown there. And you can see here's their conference appearances. This is definitely what I like about this team. They're, really active. Conferences, roadshows, they're all over the place. Definitely like to see that. Let's keep going down and look at the team. Okay, so you can kind of see how big this team is. Really some exciting people on this team. These are just the co-founders, and we can take a look at their LinkedIn. Looks like the one page loaded, so we can go over that first. Okay, this is the one pager. So what I want to show you here is you can see why users would want to use this. You get a personalized TV channel, and then you can also get rewarded for watching sponsored messages, something that's kind of exciting. Want to move forward with kind of the advertising space. Content creators, you get pretty much your own channel, and you can also have an ad-supported channel. And then advertisers, obviously, you also get transparency, which is really big right now in the TV space. Right now, TV ads, you don't really know how successful they are until afterwards, and it's just a best guess, and this is going to be a lot more transparent. So I wanted to show you this one pager, and then let's jump over and take a look at the team. So here's the co-founder. So let's take a look at his profile. Okay. Okay, so this is kind of the co-founder and kind of a more business role. So you can see he's got some biz dev experience, consulting, management consulting. So that's definitely good. Ooh, you can kind of see got masters in management. That's definitely good. I'd like to see advanced degrees from anyone. Now let's take a look at one of their other. This is the CFO at the same project. You can see here, this guy also has some other experience. We can kind of take a look at some of his other experience down here. He also has a master's degree in finance and management. So definitely big plus there. I always like to see those degrees. And the last team member I just want to show you guys is Christopher. So Christopher is actually a Forbes 30 under 30. Definitely exciting to see this guy join this project. So we'll kind of go through some of his past experience. He's kind of the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. Kind of like to see that in a project. So you can take a look. There is some, Bitcoin, some Chief Marketing Officer roles before. So definitely like to see that. Some experience there. And obviously some really good education. Okay, now let's take a look at the advisors. So here's the first one. And you can see he lists TV2 as one of his advisorships, so I definitely like to see that. It definitely confirms for me he works there. Also, he has other advisorships on blockchain and crypto, so that's definitely exciting. I really like this advisor. You can see also one of the members of the governing board of Ethereum, so you can see some of his past experience. I definitely like this advisor, David. And let's go over to one of the other ones. So you can kind of see he lists some other blockchain, and you can see some of his other kind of consultancies. And for example, this is also a blockchain kind of project. And this is just one of their advisors. They have a whole bunch of them. Okay, so that kind of wraps it up for that. Let's take a look at their token metrics, see how they're doing. Okay, here's TV2. So you can see their token sale does start pretty soon on the 24th of April. So their price kind of changed. So originally they had a set price, and now it's going to be a reverse auction pretty much. So that's definitely interesting to me. I want to see what happens there. Usually reverse auctions tend to put people off, which for example on the Dragon Chain project tends to put investors off, but I tend to make the most when other investors are put off, when there's fear in the market. So I definitely like to see something like that. You can see 75% of their tokens, they do have a lot of them, but 75% of them are going to be up for grabs. Here's their cap, which really isn't that high. Like I said, it's 50,000 Ethereum, which right now is about 26 million. So they do have a prototype. They do have a great team and great advisors. We looked at that already. They have a kind of building community. This has definitely been rising recently. I'd like to see this be a little bit higher. It's a little bit disappointing, but they have been, slowly getting some followers, so that's definitely exciting. So it is now. Yes, they do need blockchain to reward everyone. First to market, yes, because what's different about this is they use smart TVs, and they're going that route, and I think there's lots of advantages to that, and I'll kind of get into that a little bit later. And there also is a demand for video-based advertising, especially. Okay, now we're going to take a look at our last project. It's called Verasity. Let's take a look at their website. Okay, here's their website. You can see they're doing a pre-sale now, and their public sales coming up as well. So you can see kind of how this ecosystem works. So they have basically you get rewarded for watching videos. We'll kind of go down here to where they break it out. So you can, for viewers, you get rewarded for viewing videos. You earn Vera, also by supporting channels. So that's definitely cool. They have this Vera Sparks concept where it's almost like having stock in a channel, and you can do distributions and all kind of cool stuff. And then you can also have supporters and really cool people who are interested in your project also contribute money, which is definitely cool. So for content creators, you get a fund development through the Vera Sparks, which is what I was just talking about. And you get multiple monetization methods. That's definitely cool. And then obviously you can upload these. And for advertisers, you can also get sponsors and brands and stuff. Let's take a look. Okay, so here's the kind of ecosystem. So content creators, viewers get, and brands indirectly with one can interact directly with this Vera token. So that's definitely cool. You don't see this. This is definitely kind of a new platform. So where are they in terms of development? So you can see they're working on their web wallet and desktop wallet. It's in development, and their blockchain as well. So they're doing a DPoS blockchain to basically, they're worried about scaling. So they're going to, tackle that head on and early on and work on that, a little bit earlier. So they are also, the other side to Verasity is that they also have video hosting and distribution. So you get to basically host and deliver video as well. So that's definitely exciting. Really, right now, you only see that in a couple other kind of distributed storage systems, but Verasity is working on it, and I kind of think they'll be first to market because most of the other platforms still aren't as developed as Verasity. So you can kind of see a little sample of their video player there. And so here's kind of their development plan. They're going to have a video sharing website, a Spark Marketplace, which is how creators can innovate themselves and kind of earn money and develop their channel. And then here in this one image, you can kind of see the economic model of how Veer is going to flow in the Spark Marketplace on how Veer will flow to content creators as well. And here they just kind of talk about that in depth. Then we can kind of take a look at their roadmap. So they do kind of have a couple betas and already have shipped some code. And let's take a look at the rest of their roadmap. Here we can see a beta of the video sharing website. So they just want to do web, and here they want to do a mobile app. So kind of right off the bat, alarming for me, I've never watched video on mobile. I almost always watch it. If I do watch it on mobile, I always stream it to my Chromecast, or I use something like Amazon Fire TV or something like that to watch it. So the fact that this is going to be web and mobile based at first makes me a little worried, but they do have the video content delivery, so they could easily kind of embed that and wrap it to make it run on something like a Fire Stick. Let's take a look at the team. So their team is actually a little bit disappointing. So there's a couple good good all-stars and a lot of people who are more like freelance developers who they've started working on the project. Let's take a look at some of their LinkedIns. Here's the all-star LinkedIns. So this is David. So we can see he's the CEO at Verasity. You can also kind of see a description here about how it works and some of their metrics. So I just want to show some of his past experience, founders, not mentor advisors. So it does have some lots of business experience. You can kind of see that. So he does have a degree in geography, which is kind of weird to me. Lots of management and kind of the business side of things. So I definitely like to see that experience a little bit more than the degree in this case. Let's take a look at one of the other members. So this is kind of one of the other full stack developers. So you can kind of see some past experience. Does have a master's degree in computer science. This is kind of really the only other all-star that I found Veracity. The team is a little bit lacking, but let's take a look at the advice. Here's one. So we can see his past experience. So here he does list. Oh, I'm sorry, he does not list the Veracity. So you can kind of see he does have a PhD in economics and finance, which is definitely I like to see that. And get to see him kind of apply that. Definitely think that's really good. And then there's Simon. So Simon actually lists the Veracity advisorship, which I like, and you can also see some of his other big casts. You get to see some of his other advisorships and kind of blockchain related projects stuff. So definitely get to see like that. Let's go over and take a look at the metrics. Okay. Here it is. The token, the pre-sale is coming up on the 1st of May. The actual token sale isn't until June, so you got a little bit of time for that. Token price actually is pretty low. There are a crazy number of tokens. and they're only selling 22% of them, which is kind of low, but they need enough to supplement the marketplace. And the cap is only 23,000 or million, sorry. The hard cap is 23 million. They do have a prototype. The team is okay. The advisors are really good, actually. They also really have a growing community. So I always like to see the community and get to see that grow. So kind of get to see this over time. It is an app. They do have a need for their blockchain to basically reward people for watching the videos. And there is a demand, obviously. Okay, so that kind of goes over the projects individually. Let's take a look at them against each other. Okay, so here they are. Here's the 3 projects. So let's just start with the description. So Verasity is kind of video infrastructure and incentivized economy. So you get tokens for watching videos and for creating them. TV2 is also kind of an incentivized economy. And then VideoCoin is kind of incentivized video infrastructure. And what's the difference between infrastructure and economy? Infrastructure is basically what the video will run on, how it'll be handled and distributed. So we'll kind of talk about that a little bit later on. Let's talk about their blockchain. So Verasity and VideoCoin are both going to do a custom blockchain, and TV2 is going to do Ethereum. So obviously they also have that advisor who's heavy into Ethereum, and they also have a couple of heavy hitters on the team in Ethereum. So I'm not too worried about this. Originally I was worried about the scalability with Ethereum, but now I'd have to say it's probably, I don't know, the only really drawback, because they're kind of betting everything on Ethereum's ability to scale. And if Ethereum, for whatever reason, changes direction or suddenly decides that they need to make money and start charging for it, that could desperately change their entire economy. Okay, so now the prototype. Here, the blockchain and the video hosting platform is kind of what they're working towards. The video hosting platform they have, the blockchain they're kind of working on developing. And then for TV2, it's the smart TV app. So they have it for smart TVs, and then VideoCoin this is obviously in development. They do not have a prototype yet. And their target platform. So web and mobile versus basically smart TVs. That's kind of where the industry is going. And so I'll kind of talk about the pluses and minuses over there. So the community is a little bit smaller on these two. It's definitely growing. And then you can kind of take a look at the hard caps. And then let's talk about what I like most about these. So Verasity, it has to be the economics. I think it's really thought out well. I think the only kind of minuses are they're targeting web and mobile. So if we look at a successful ad-based project, I think that'd be BAT, the basic attention token. And basically, BAT created Brave, which is a browser. And they created Brave on desktop and mobile, but basically they came to where the people were. And they didn't make it a plugin, they made it an entire browser. So you want to go where the people are, and I think that's going to be TV2. Right now, there's, you could argue that, the older generation's kind of the ones in charge of TV and, payment and kind of keeping track of subscriptions and everything, but I would counter that with the fact that, cord cutting is on the rise. I've actually cut the cord a couple of years ago. It's definitely on the rise. Lots of people are cutting the cord, basically canceling their cable for basically internet streaming TV services. So that's, definitely in the works. So in the future, if we look, 10 years from now, that will definitely be bigger. And I think this is targeting that economy. So definitely excited about their go-to-market. I think there's, definitely a fit there. And then, so VideoCoin is kind of, they want to use storage and even unused AWS capacity to store videos. So, like I said, they're infrastructure based. So they want to store videos and basically play them. I don't know how they're going to compete against some other video models, and there are some other hosting platforms that will be developed ahead of time, and I'm just not sure if there'll be enough of room in the marketplace for them. Okay, that was it. I think I've kind of compared and contrasted them, take a look at kind of the overall video-based delivery and consumption of videos and their ads, so we can kind of see which model is kind of the best. So I think right now it's between Verasity and TV2. I think TV2 has a better go-to-market strategy, so I'll be following this project a little bit more, taking a look at their ICO probably. Okay, thanks for watching. See ya.